I have three stories to share that shaped me, colored me, and made me who I am today. I grew up in India. I was raised by a single mom. My father passed away when I was 2 years old. 4 sisters, and I'm the only son. And my father left a small house where my sisters and my mom and I used to live together. A little kid, 8 years old, on the rooftop of that house, which is connected with other houses, my aunts and cousins and uncles, they used to live around that house. Indian summers are not like Idaho summer. Now when we get here 100, 105, we say, oh my God. We are talking about 120, 125 at times. The temperature of the whole day. Indian houses are made of bricks. It soaks all the heat. And in the evening, they radiate heat out. So it's unbearable to live within the confine of those walls. So families, kids go on the rooftop and run around. And so it was one of those evenings of those pretty miserable summers. I was 8 years old, running around on that rooftop. I could see the sun was setting, and the dusk was about to hit. And what I saw, one of my aunts brought mango juice in one of the silver bowls. And it was very cold. I could see it from distance. The condensation of that cold mango juice. You could feel the water drop around the steel bowl. The ice cubes were floating, and I was very thirsty, I was very hungry, and I went to my aunt. And I said, Aunt, can I have mango juice? And for her, she made that mango juice for her own family members, and she said, go and talk with your mom. So I ran from that side of the rooftop to the side of the rooftop of our house. My mom was standing, my sisters were sitting, and I pulled her traditional Indian dress that she wore, and I just, hey mom, can I have mango juice? And before I know, I got the slap with something like, she shared, a kid without father doesn't deserve mango juice. And the kid was a little broken, didn't know what to do, didn't understand that why I can't have mango juice. That's how I grew up. Grew up to a little toddler, start playing cricket, all British colonies. There is a game over there, cricket, just like baseball over here. That was my outlet. Not having any mail at home, I was just used to play with kids out there. I could see not having any bat, not having any ball, not having any gears. I was just always used to be dependent on other kids around. And so it was one of the match, we call Indian, like in the cricket match, not a game. So there was a cricket match was planned. I was in 7th grade, about 13 years old boy, and the plan was that every team will put some money as a stake to play that game, and I had to put my portion as a 25 cents. You could imagine I used to get my pocket money of less than a cent. So for me, it was a big deal to accumulate that money, not spending on things that I used to love. And so for a month, I was collecting that 25 cents so that I can give my portion. The day of the match came in, I went to school, 7:30 to 12:30 was the school, and I could not focus on my studies that day because I was so looking forward to play that match. The last period came, the school was over, I ran out, I came home, I threw my school bag, had a few bites, and I was off to the field where the match was about to play. I reached over there, and I saw both the teams were around. The two brothers to whom all the gears of bat, ball, stumps, all the stuff was there. And one of them came forward and told me, I said, here's my 25 cents, let's play. And he shared, you're not going to play today. And I said, what do you mean I'm not going to play? And he said, yep, we have decided you're not part of the team, you're not going to play. And then kid, I felt like, oh my God, I was so looking forward to, I could not even able to focus on things for about a month, and for me it was a big deal. I was so devastated. I sit around that boundary ball where we call like 4s and 6s, watch that game for 3 hours, kids were playing, and I was all alone, felt like I don't belong. I grew up to if I can go to the next. Okay, it takes time. Okay, I'll go back. Okay. The flow is patient.
Something always happens.
No worries. I'll try from here. This is my family. My mom sitting in the middle. Elder, first, second, third, and fourth. When my father passed away, my elder sister was 9 years old, 7, 5, 2, and she was 9 months old. In India, there is a dowry system, and you need to really give money to get your sisters or your daughters married. And so my mom took care of my first 3 sisters, but by the time my younger one needed to get married, it was my responsibility. I was 21 years old in this picture. And my mom shared that I have a pile of debt from other weddings. Now it is your responsibility. And for me, I would say, okay, what do I do here? How can I put together, $3,000 was required, and you could imagine for $3,000 for a household which has $20 a day, total expense. So I had to figure it out. So one of those days, just before the ceremony, the celebration was planned, I had to run around. So I got up one day in the morning, and then I went to my friend's house, went to my extended family's places, started accumulating $200, $300, $100. I didn't bag, but I was pretty much bagging to collect that money to ensure that my sister get married and that wedding can happen. I remember vividly, it was late night, 11 o'clock. By the time I was done, next day there was a function. And I was stand alone at one of the bus stops where I was about to take the bus to go back to my hometown. And I was standing in the dark, waiting for that bus to come in. And I was wondering, I was thinking, how am I going to take care of all of this? The debt that I accumulated today and the debt that my mom had. I was so scared, so worried, so fearful. And yet I had to do what I had to do. And so in my life, what happened, I lost my father and I got an experience I don't deserve. I didn't get a chance to play. I had an experience that I don't belong. And I had family financial obligation because of all the wedding and everything. And I felt like I'm all alone. And those experiences, those challenges, those memories haunt me all throughout my life until I came to America, the US in '99. I worked for HP for 10 years, starting the company in 2009. I really want to look, because it's not only with me. Every human being has those challenges, maybe at a different place, different degree, different things. Take your folder, and there is a paper out there in that folder. Does everyone have a folder? If not, Michaela can give any. If you don't have a folder, you raise your hand. Okay, you. And I want you to grab a pen. I want you to reflect this side of it. And truly, this is, by the way, this is your paper, the first page. If you look at it, it has a sheet. And this is your folder, this is your page. And we are about to embark on a journey of self-discovery. Because it's an important part of human evolution. That knowing yourself is an important step towards knowing other human beings and building a kind of thing that you would like to create and build on this planet. So I want you to reflect and explore and think back to when you were growing up. The challenges and memories you have that still haunt you. And I share, be brutally honest with yourself. Because I had to do that work for myself to come out from those things to create what I create right now. Maybe you felt like somewhere I don't deserve, I don't belong. I'm alone just like me. Or I'm not good enough. You might not be that smartest kid in the classroom. You might not be capable to play the kind of sports you wanted to play, or the kind of love you were looking for at home or some other places. I'm not smart, something is wrong. So why don't you take the first section and then look back and see the things and the memories that still haunt you. Nothing wrong about that, just like nothing wrong about mine, but it's an important step towards the self-discovery that we all deserve to have. Why don't you take about 5 minutes to think back, and I'll share, be honest with yourself, and no one will look at even the paper. It's yours. take another 30 more seconds. Wrap up. I want you to look at this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when you see, just like my stories, there are human beings who have a need. Those are physiological needs, safety and security, and love and belonging. And majority of the human beings on this planet really live their pretty much entire life in those three places. This is a survival game because you have to make it. But if you look at actually life, the experience of life happens in the last two, where you have gone beyond yourself to start having that God-given potential that you have as a leader, where you have that esteem, self-esteem, where you know who you are, and then you are a fully realized being, as called self-realization. That's where the real experience of life happens, because now you are not thinking too much about yourself. You're out there to create things for other human beings. But in order to go from this survival to thriving, there is an epiphany is required. That aha moment in life, it's critical. And it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen by chance. You need to look. You need to seek for it. You need to see, am I fully self-expressed? Am I happy? Am I peaceful? Am I joyful? If not, what is holding me back? What those memories which I talked about mine was haunting me, was pulling me down rather than propelling me forward. There's a book out there written by Dave Logan and Hallie Fisher-Wright, name of the book, Tribal Leadership. And those two writers have looked at organizations from east to west, from top to bottom, everywhere. Thousands of organizations, they looked at it. And they did the research, and they looked at what the behavior of human beings are in various organizations. And there are first three stages of this tribal leadership, and where all life sucks, these people are so out there, not even having any relationship with life. They say, all life sucks. And most of the people don't even live in our society. Those people end up somewhere else. But then there are two stages where say, I, as a human being, my life sucks. So much complaint, so many challenges that my life, I'm not experiencing life. And then there are people who are out there saying, I'm great. I'm just so good. And I'm good because you are not good. That's how they see. 76% of human beings all over the planet are in that first three stages. But then there are this epiphany, this aha moment which I'm talking about, where you see in various organizations, those are really leaders who have created this new conversation. That I'm great is not the place to be. How can we get to we are great? And even to get to a place called life is great, where there is no competition with anyone. Life as a whole itself, there are so many challenges, poverty, suffering, problems, challenges. We as a company have taken on called creating abundance. There is no competition. Everyone wants abundance. Every life wants abundance. And that's what we have reached to. And we have got to that place by going through this process that I'm talking about, you need to really look back. Something is holding you back. And if you can unshackle yourself, if you can free yourself up from those barriers and boundaries and constraints and challenges and problems and complaints, there's so much out there on this planet. And one of the ways you can really look at your life is finding yourself. So I'm going to read this quote, and you should read in your mind, and then I'm going to read it out out here. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your belief about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself, and unlearning and excavation and remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. But then that's not how you find yourself. You don't find yourself because you are not like keys at home. Oh, let me find my keys. You don't say, because actually you never find yourself, you discover yourself. You have to go through this discovery process. I just shared, you don't say, let me discover my keys at home. When you're lost somewhere, you find those, but discovery is altogether a different process. You need to get to a place called, I don't know what I don't know. And since I don't know what I don't know, I cannot know what I need to know. And you need to be generous, you need to be seeking, you need to look. So when I discovered myself, this epiphany, this aha moment, again, that can happen through a conversation like today, when you look back and say, wow. Or you find someone who has done this kind of work, or you can find a coach. You might read literature, whatever literature that you really like or follow. But when I discovered myself through this process of discovery that I'm talking about, I really got to a place called Why Me, which was my complaint with my father, why you died, and left these 5 illiterate women on my shoulders. There was a level of complaint and suffering I was going through. But when I discovered myself, I said, thank God that no kid should say, but our challenge is that I got a piece called, had you been there, I would have been probably back in my hometown right now, and not the kind of life I live right now. Because all my cousins, all my nephews, all my nieces, all my uncles and aunts are still back over there. So I discovered why me to why not me, and when I did that, when I felt like I don't deserve, that made me immensely independent human being. I became so much out there because I felt I don't deserve. My father passed away. When I felt like I don't belong because I didn't get a chance to play, I became very hardworking. So much and so in my childhood that no match happened without Jeet playing the game. Because I had to work hard to belong and to make sure that I am part of every game and every match over there. And because of all the financial obligation, all the challenges at home, I became immensely responsible. I became independent, hardworking, responsible human being who came to America, who lived through, built few things, created possibilities, all of that. But it all started from looking back. All the challenges that I've gone through, and then seeing why me to why not me. Because all of them are blessings. So I want you to go to the second portion of this sheet and reflect and discover all the things which you have identified, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe more, and look those things and see how can you find that peace and joy and see who you have become. Maybe you came on the stage and could not able to talk, but now you became so much prepared, so much process-oriented now. If you didn't get much love because of any reason, you became someone who is very considerate and take care of people around you now. And that serves you so well. So why not you look at those things that you have identified and then see why me to why not me. I'll come back in a few minutes, you do that work. You owe this work to yourself. Self-discovery is the biggest gift, precious gift you can give to yourself. Take another 30 more seconds. And wrap up. If you look at this iceberg, there are two places life is: working hard, and below the surface, the hard work. Human beings only see the working hard. When you work hard, you create tons of things: product, services, creation, you contribute to people's life, and then all the things which you create as a wealth. Tons of money, nothing wrong about creating wealth out there. But the hard work one needs to do, which create this possible outside, is very few times we really look. The hard work that you need to really look at and do is create so much love, happiness, inner peace, joy, fulfillment. All of that happens below the surface. No one knows what's happening because people only see the tip of this iceberg, the thing that happens above the surface. All the doing of outside is important, but the being that no one talks about. Hardly people talk about those things. But if you look at life and humans, they are not human doings. They are human beings. And once you are that human being who creates so much love and peace and joy and all the fulfillment that you have, you are ready to create that possibility for other human beings. Because the spirit of the leader is the spirit of the team. Because those are the people, those are the human beings create so much out there. And I, as a human being, when I discovered myself, I became that leader. I became that kind of a human being who creates so many things for other human beings. One of the things which I would like to talk about, the kind of company we have built, There is an economist out there, his name is Dr. Kunkel. He looked at it about 8.5 million businesses over the 10-year period, from 2010 to 2020. And majority of them, 70-75%, those companies never grew. That's the power curve if you look at it at the zero. Quite a few disappeared, quite a few grew for a few years. But there are very few companies, the 1% of the 1% who grew all those 10 years. Those in the declining phase and also the growth phase. In the growth phase, yes, sure, everybody grows, so they contributed 34%. But look at the declining phase of the economy from 2010 to 2015, just after the subprime crisis. They contributed to 134% of the growth, both economy, the growth of the revenue-wise, and also the human being and the employment, the job growth. And Intel Tech is one of those 1% of the 1%. We have grown over the last 15 years. Since the inception of our company in 2009 in Boise area, in Meridian, where our headquarters is, we have over 150 people work over there, about 950 people work for in the rest of the world. And so those are the kind of things those leaders who discovered themselves create on this planet. Start giving back, because that's what they do. They have started coaching and coached tons of people in the Treasure Valley in Idaho. I was Idaho Technology Council board chair up until last year. I created so many things, so many possibilities gets created because you want to give back to the community, to the people. Wrote a couple of books because I want this conversation to continue. Self-discovery, creating impact, making sure that creating abundance as a mentality, as a mindset. So all of that is possible because when you become who you are, the creation is out there. And the possibilities are endless. You just don't know how far you will go and how far other human beings go around you. Because I truly believe the endless possibilities that we all deserve to have. So I would like you to take a few moments, and then the third section of the sheet. Once you know that why me to why not me, what kind of goals, the creation that you would like to see happening on the planet. Maybe you want to start a company. Maybe you want to do the volunteer work. You want to start a non-profit. You want to become a leader in your own organization. Maybe you want to send your kids to college and having them debt-free. I don't know what kind of a goals and creation that you would like to see. So why don't you take a moment and capture those. It's important for you to know. When you leave the summit, you should know what you are up to, things you would like to create in life. more seconds. When you create life, a lot of things happen. By the way, this is the house where I grew up, my hometown. You see, my mom and my sisters and I used to live until I went to college. That's where I spent my first 19, 20 years of my life. To the house that I live in, and again, it's not a measure of wealth and any creation, but the life that I'm able to create for myself and for the family. I have 2 kids. Viju and I live in Eagle, Idaho, and came here in '99. Both the kids were born here. Changing the trajectory of life, having them go to college and creating possibilities on this planet. The company that got built in the process in 2009 when we started, few employees right from scratch. We started this company. To the last year, what we did about $34 million top line. 2009, we did only $110,000 with a few people around. And so what we used to do in a year in 2009, now we do in a day. 110,000 is $3 million to about $35, $36 million in a year. Level of growth that got accomplished. Thousands of employees worldwide. You heard from Janelle, from Australia to Colombia. We have offices worldwide. The creating abundance is a movement. It's becoming a possibility for human beings. Australia, South Korea, India, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, US, Colombia. We're about to open an office in Canada. It's just happening. And the goal is, what you heard, money is required to live, but love is the reason to live. That's how we live our life every day in creating possibilities. And the people that I celebrate my life, these are the 5 founders we are together, right? The family, giving back to the community. There's a lot of celebration, a lot of peace and joy and fulfillment and happiness. And you celebrate life because if you are creating without any celebration, then what's the point? You are not doing it forever because you are not here forever. So having those, identifying those people and loved ones and organizations and the way to celebrate yourself, having an outlet over there to make sure that people really see that you are creating good things for yourself and for other human beings. So I want you to take your time, the last section. Honestly, I want take a moment maybe today, right now, see what kind of thing that you really want to see as a success for you. The impact that you would like to create and the people that you want to celebrate your life. Maybe financial freedom, maybe entrepreneurship, as I share, the vibrant relationship that you would like to have at home and around, and the people that you would like to celebrate your success with, it's important for you to know. So maybe take a minute to see who you care about and who you would like to celebrate your life with. life without meaningful celebration is a never-ending treadmill, which you get tired and you don't know when the end will come. So celebration is a key element of experiencing life. Without celebration, it's empty and meaningless life. So for me, as I shared, like today, when Kerry asked me to come over here and talk about a few things that I've created in my life, I really felt like during this lifetime, you can even touch one person's life in a meaningful way. And you don't know who that person is because you can't identify one person. You need to really be out there. And that person can create so many things out there. Every drop counts in a bucket of water. And every bucket of water counts in an ocean of water. And that drop makes the whole ocean possible. So when I look at my life, life is a series of exploration, creation, and celebration. And this is a forum, this is a platform. Idaho Summit is a celebration forum for having this way, the thing which I've created, the thing which I've explored, and being out here. And it's an ongoing journey. It's a never-ending process. You just get to one place and then you create and then you go back to exploration, creation, and celebration. That is life. Life becomes so much fulfilled, and meaning of life becomes so much more. So when you show up for others, what I'm talking today, and take this with you today. When you discovered yourself, when you know what you would like to create, when you show up for others because you showed up for yourself with that clarity and the commitment that you have, the compassion you exhibit and share, the love and compassion that you create for the human being, you create the possibility of creation and contribution. And that's how you create an impact on this